Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is episode number 10 of Rookie's Guide to DW20 for Minecraft 1.21. In this episode, we're going to try to diffuse and dissect this whole setup here, which produces sulfur, which produces hydrogen chloride and sulfuric acid. It's far more complicated looking than it needs to be, and this is overbuilt. You definitely don't need to set up this large. I just wanted to fool around a factory, make this place look like a factory. Let's see. So we're gonna start with the hydrogen chloride. It's a simpler system than for the sulfuric acid. So it all starts here, where we're producing oxygen and hydrogen. The oxygen we're storing in this tank here for later. And the hydrogen is in here, which we're sending over to these chemical infusers. This area is very loud if you have your sound up a lot. Something to note. The next thing is you need chlorine, which we're producing by putting brine into electrolytic separators, which produces sodium and chlorine. We're just dumping the excess sodium. I'm not collecting that. I don't need it for anything. I'm not using it to cool reactors or any of that, though you can. I find with this towering setup, you kind of run out of sides on some of these blocks easily. And yeah, these are sped up. This is why I kept running out of brine, which I mentioned in the last episode. And that's being stored in this tank. Now, if you put hydrogen with chlorine in chemical infusers, you produce hydrogen chloride. One thing I'd like to note, I used to make it a different way with this setup here, which is churning. We put water in with gaseous brine, or I don't know, we were doing something here. I forget what it was. Yeah, this setup's broken now, but you'd put in brine and it'd create gaseous brine. I'm not using this setup anymore. And then we were storing that down here in this tank, and we would also put it into these chemical crystallizers, which would produce salt. We currently have a lot of salt right now, 1 million, but we're not using it for anything anymore. We used to just put this right in the machine, and then that would create hydrogen chloride. That's another method to create it. And yeah, so now we're just pumping directly into the machines that require hydrogen chloride. Next, we're gonna diffuse this setup for sulfuric acid. It's a little bit more complicated. That starts over here, I believe. Yeah, we'll start here. So we're putting gunpowder into these injecting factories. I remembered I had a million. We had a lot of sulfur saved up. This probably would have been full if I would have known about that. But yeah, you inject sulfur with hydrogen chloride, which is that stuff over there we're making. Then that produces sulfur dioxide. I kind of did like a symmetrical sort of build here. It's pretty clean. And I'm putting the sulfur into these chemical oxidizers with RedNet, or XNet, I mean, as an effort to make it insert faster. Okay, next, the sulfur dioxide is being put into chemical infusers here with the oxygen from earlier, if you recall. That oxygen there. That's all we're using with it. And that produces sulfuric trioxide. Now we're also producing water vapor over here with these right here. These rotary concentrators set to deconcentrate, which is producing water vapor. And water vapor plus sulfur trioxide produces sulfuric acid with chemical infusers. The setup was kind of a mess to set up because of all the limited sides, but as you can see, we're using all the 5 sides. And that's how we make sulfuric acid, which is necessary for primarily ore production and other things. Again, we had a simpler setup for this. Right here, we were producing gunpowder from flint, which is from gravel and cobblestone, and this is where we're storing all of the sulfur here. I probably need to turn this off, so we're not storing gunpowder there anymore. Oops. By the way, this tool is very useful for looking at your system. It'll show you if something's wrong. Like, this would turn red, and it shows you all the nodes, and you can see the whole system. And yeah, it's just storing this here, and we're using that over there. We used to use this in machines, but we're no longer doing that. And in a future video, we'll explain, or rather show, a far simpler setup for making sulfuric acid in the nuclear base, because I have a self-sufficient setup there, which is far more efficient and smaller than this. This is just meant to be, what's the word? Overdone. Overkill. These are words used by some of my Chimera friends. But yeah, that's that setup there. It's kind of a flow chart. You have to write a flow chart sometimes for these things. But yeah, that's how we make sulfuric acid and hydrogen chloride. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.